Hello everyone, welcome to yet another tutorial. Today we are going to look at how to create a small game like this in Unity. Alright, so if you are a first time user of Unity, then you can start from here and learn all the basics of how Unity works, and then you will be able to create a very small interactive game where you can restart the game of a ball bouncing and you can exit the game. So this is the exe file that is created where the ball is bouncing, and then you can restart the game and then you can exit it. Alright, so let us see how this is done in Unity. So if you go to unity.com, you can get started and go to individual, and either student or personal you can download Unity online. It is free, so you can create and learn Unity for free and create your games. Alright, so I'm going to fire up Unity. And I'm going to go to new. Okay, so I'm creating a 3D game and I'll name it Ball Bounce. Alright, so I'm creating a new project called Ball Bounce, and I've created a Unity folder on the desktop, so I'm going to save this project in that folder. Okay, so I'll create it and Unity will start and create all the files and folders required for this project. Okay, so if you go to the Unity folder, this is what I was created for this tutorial, and this is a new one. It has already created these files and folders. If you look at assets, this is the only one we will be working with, and I'll create a new folder and name it game. So this is where we will save our exe files. Okay, so if you go to assets, scenes, there's a sample scene there. Alright, so if you go to Unity and then you can see the sample scene, we will rename this and call it Ball Bounce, and we will say reload. Okay, so that has been renamed here. Okay, so you can see in the assets there's scenes, and the scene has been renamed to Ball Bounce. So now if you go to assets, there is scenes. We will create a new folder in assets and call it materials. Our object will need materials and a new folder is created. If you go here, you can see that the materials folder is created. If I click here and click new folder and call it textures, then a new textures folder is created here. So you can see how it is interlinked. So you have to be careful not to mess up your project folder and not add or remove things from there. We will need one more folder, and these folders are created just for maintenance purposes, because as you build games there will be so many things in your game. So right from the beginning it is good that you learn how to be organized. Alright, so in your case you might have a main window here where there is scenes and there is games. Then I went to asset store, so that was added later on. So what I do is I simply move this and move it to the right, so I can see both scene window and the game window. The game window is how your game is going to look when you play the game, when the exe file is created. So you can preview your game by hitting the play button here, and then through this camera you will start seeing things. Okay, so the only thing you can see right now is that I can rotate the camera, and then you can see that the scene is getting rotated. Okay, so I'll stop that. So by default there is a camera and a light. Here there is hierarchy, so anything that exists in the game will be here. So you have a main camera and a direct light. Alright, So if you add more things, they will be visible in the hierarchy. All right. So any things that is visible here that are there in here will not be seen in the game window. They have to be in the hierarchy. And then you have the modify panel, which is called the inspector, where you can make changes to your game objects and other things. All right. Let us start by adding a plane. So I'll right click here and then you can create 3D objects, plane, or you can go to game object, 3D object, plane. All right. So now a plane is added and then it is added somewhere. So we'll type 0 here and 0 here and 0 here. So all the XYZ is 0. Okay, so this is the inspector. You can see there's rotation. You can even click and drag and then you can see how things rotate, or you can simply type 0. Okay, so you can position, rotate and scale. You can also move, rotate and scale from here. All right. This plane is called a plane. So I will rename this to floor. This is our floor. Okay, and now it has been renamed to floor. Okay, if you hit Control D, another object is created. We will name this wall. Okay, and then we need to rotate it in one of these axes. Both were wrong, Z. So I want to rotate this and I will type negative 90. Okay, if it is positive 90, you will see transparent because one side is transparent and one side is opaque. So negative 90 is what we need. These are 10 units long, so we have to move this back. Will be -5 and up will be 5. Okay, so this should be actually rotated this way as well. So this is 90 and then this becomes 5. This becomes 0 and this becomes 5. Okay, so you can see how things are looking from the camera. So our camera is at -10, so I'll move it at -4. You can see that -5, -6 onwards, you start seeing the plane being clipped here. I will place it at -4 and there is a reason. We don't want any empty space here. So I'll scale this and the scale is 2. Now I'll select this one and I'll scale this too. Oops, it's the wrong number. That's 1. That is 1 and this is 2. Okay. So now nothing is seen, only the floor and the wall through the camera. And then we will save this one. Okay, so the scenes, it will be saved in the scenes. You can see it's wall bounce. We'll go to game object, 3D object, sphere. We'll name this wall. And the ball has to be in the back, above. So this is 0. This is 4. This is 2, for example. Okay, so that looks good. We have all the things going. Now we need the ball to fall down on the ground. Alright, so if you hit the play button, the ball is not falling down. So if you select the ball and go to the inspector, we will add a component and then we'll go to physics and we'll add a rigid body. Okay, so this object becomes a rigid body and it has like a green outline to it. Even now if you play, nothing happens. by the way, the ball falls down, and hits the ground. Okay, it's not bouncing. So to make it bounce, we will add another component, physics. We'll add a mesh collider, sphere collider. Okay, so this is a spherical object. So we will create a collider which is spherical in shape. So if you play now, again nothing happens. The ball is not bouncing yet because we need a bouncing material. So in the materials, I will create a physic material. Okay, and this physic material has to be assigned to the ball. Okay, so if you rename this, name it ball bounce. If you select the ball, you can see that the sphere collider now has a ball bounce. You can even drag it here like this. Alright, so now if you play, it is still not bouncing. So we created a sphere, we added a sphere collider, we made it a rigid body. Alright, let us look at the ball bounce physic material. So you can see that the bounciness is 0. This bounciness number goes from 0 to 1. So I will also make it 0.6. And now let us see if it is bouncing. So you can see that the ball is bouncing, but it is bouncing very less. So what is happening is it is averaging the friction between the ball and the floor. So we'll change it to maximum. And now if you play, now the ball is bouncing more. Alright, so this is, I'm happy with this. You can play around and see what numbers work with you. Now we need to add texture maps. Also the light, I will change the light a little bit so that the shadow doesn't fall on the wall. It is always on the ground, but little. Alright, so you can even move the ball away, maybe 1. Okay, so it has to be visible a little bit on top here, and then it falls down, and then okay. So now we need to add materials. Okay, so we will create a material. We need one material for the floor, wall, and the ball. So I'll go to create material. This time we'll just use material, not the physic material. Okay, this is just for the look, and I will name it floor material. I'll go to create material, wall material, and then I'll go to create material, wall material. Alright, so where do you get your material? The material should have textures. So if you go to textureheaven.com, you can select the floor and select any floor that you like and download the diffuse color and download the specular color. And you can also download the normal color if you want. If you go to brick, any brick, and then if you go to diffuse, just select the lowest, which is fine. We don't need very big files. And for the ball, you got to go to ball tennis. I created a tennis ball, and you can search for tennis ball texture. You can also select basketball or any other soccer ball that you like. So this is the image that I used for the ball texture. Alright, so all these textures are here. So I'm simply going to copy. You can create those. Alright, so I have this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So Control C, and I will go to ball bounce, assets, textures, and Control V. Okay, view, large icons. So you can see those 4. And what I did in Photoshop, I opened this one. I went to filter, 3D, generate normal map. Okay, and it generates normal map. You can see that this is very rough, so you can increase the blur by 1, I guess, or 5, 10. .5 detail scale you can reduce 25, 50, 90, 100, 50. It's taking a long time to update, I guess. 25, 15, 20, 25. Now it looks different. Something is wrong. 50. Okay. So I'm happy with this. This is what is created. File, save as, JPEG and tennis ball mat. You go to Unity, and if you go to textures, you get all these textures here. You can also go to right click, import new asset, and then import your texture this way also. Alright, so now our ball material has to have this texture, but there's no place to put the texture. So what we need to do is create legacy shader, and then we will create a bump diffuse. Okay, so you can put a diffuse map and a bump map. Alright, so our material is created, but this material has to be assigned to this ball. So select the ball. So either you can drag it here or you can drag it here. Okay, you can see now that the ball has the texture. Okay, you can hit the F key to zoom into that. So our ball has the texture. Now same way we have to go to the floor material. I'm going to use legacy and then use bump specular. Alright, textures, drag this. So specular will give this shininess to the ball. Okay, so it can be less shiny. And then I'll drag this as a bump. So I downloaded this black and white image, but it says it is not a normal map. So you can fix it, and then Unity will make it a normal map. So again, our floor has to have the material. So select the material and drag it either here or there. So if you double click on the floor, now the tiles are big, so you can tile it true by true, and tile it here also true by true. Okay. You can create a better normal map if you have not downloaded it and you want to create it. Also, you can go to filter, 3D, generate normal map. Okay, and then the blur will be 1. Control Z, filter, 3D, generate normal map. This is 1, and then the scale will be at 20%. And then we can go to file, save as, and save this. Go to Unity, textures, materials first, select the floor, textures, double click on the material, go to textures, and drag this. So there is more bump to it. Same way wall. So we'll select the wall, materials, assign the wall material, double click on it, go to textures, change it. Legacy diffused bump. So the brick wall goes here. This goes here. Our wall is rotated, so I'll rotate it. -90 and scale it. And then this will be 1. Okay, so the material for the wall, we need a little less. So you can play with how the wall looks. Okay, so we got the wall now, the floor, wall. The wall is bouncing. Okay, now the lights. We'll save this. Alright, now the lights here you can see auto generate lighting is off. So you turn it on. And here you can say auto generate. And you can see now you got global illumination, which was not there before, and it was not looking nice. So now with the global illumination, we have nice lighting in the scene. So now everything is done. Now we can publish our game. So if you go to File, Build and Run, here we created this folder. So you select the folder, and now it's going to build the game and play it. Okay, so you can see that the ball is bouncing, but now we cannot get out of this window. So I will have to go to Task Manager and End Task for our ball bounce game. So that's why we need to add 2 buttons. One will be for exit and one button for reload. All right. So what we have to do is right click. We have to go to UI and add a button. Okay, so what it does is it adds a canvas and it adds a button. You can see that the button is here. So you can move the button wherever you want. Don't worry about what is big, what is small right now. Whatever looks here is what we want. All right. So I'm using 16:9 for the game to be played at. So we will move this up and right. Okay. So this button will be named as exit button. Okay. So we'll name it exit button and then Control D. Duplicate, move it here, and we will call it restart button. Okay, so we have 2 buttons. Each button has a text, and then the text has a size, so you can increase the size. So I'll make it 26. Text. Okay, then the text should say exit. The other text should say restart. Okay, we want this button to be transparent, so the color will be transparent, and then the text can be white. So you zoom down and then you can have white text. Same way the other button color will be transparent, text color will be white. Alright, so you can move this exit onto the right. Alright, so they look right. Now this canvas has to be, render mode should be world space, and then canvas scaler should be scale with screen size. Okay, and then once that happens, you have to remove these again. Alright, so that part is done. Now we need to script these buttons. So our exit button has to have a component script why is it giving me that option? New script, sorry, we have to go to new script and name it restart. Okay, so restart is added. Exit button, add a component, new script, exit. Okay, so I have created text for the scripts. So you can see that the exit script is this. All you need is to create copy paste. So, or you can type in. So we are at the exit button and then the exit script is added. Double click on this and it should open this window, which is Visual Studio. If you don't have it, you have to download it from the internet and install it. I'm not going to go over that, but that's what you need to do. So I'm going to get rid of all these and paste. So you have to type public void, and this can be any name you want. All right, and it has to be other than this. Okay, so I'm saying qGame, that means quit game, and then this is exactly how it should be with the capital letters and all. You have to pay attention. Application.Quit. All right, go to file, save, and there shouldn't be any errors. If there are errors, then you have not done it right. All right, so once that is done, you can see there is an on click event here under button. You have to click on plus and then you have to drag this exit button here. All right, and then in the function you have to click and then you get this new exit and this new qGame. All right, and now your button will be functional. So we will do the same thing with the restart button. We have already created the script, so double click on it and we get rid of all these things which are not necessary. And then this is the script there. I think I got two of these. Okay, so it says public void reload game and then screen manager dot load screen ball bounce. Ball bounce is the name of your file that you have created. Okay, so we have created a file named, if you go to scenes, it is called ball bounce without a space. So I'll have to remove the space, ball bounce. Okay, and then there is one more thing. You have to add this here. Okay, so you have to load scene management, so the scene manager will work. Okay, save this. Okay, and then I got some error. So maybe I need that. Nope. So public void reload game scene manager dot load scene wall bounds. Why is it not working? Scene management. What is it saying here? Okay, so I'm not very good at script, so we will open the project which I created and check what was happening there. Try to match those scripts. Okay, so if I double click restart button, so what we can do is we can select all of this, Control C, Control V, and then the ball bound should not have a gap. File, save, close this. Restart button is not working. Okay, maybe I'm not working the right game. This is ball bounce. File, we need to work here, not in the right file to copy paste. Control V, file, save. Okay, and then the error went away. So I will copy paste the code. Maybe I can copy paste the whole code and then give it to you in description, so you can simply copy paste the whole thing so you don't get any errors. So we'll go to restart game, and then here we have to add, drag our restart game, click here, go to restart and select reload game. File, save, file, build and run, and your game should be ready. Okay, so the ball is bouncing, restart is not working, exit is working. Why is restart still not working? This should be ball bounce. File, save, file, build and run. Okay, so now it is restarting and you can exit the game. That's about it. Thank you very much. I will put the scripts in the description from start to bottom, so you can simply copy paste the whole thing and not get confused with the code. Bye.